Oh, yeah. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out. Future's amazing. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Boston C here. Boston C. Hope everybody's doing well. Companions. You're powerful and unstoppable. Fearless. Self-sovereign. Living from the inside out. You have amazing authority. You have authentic intelligence that only exists above the sun. True wisdom. Yeah. A lot going on below the sun. You know how to deal with it. Ride on top of the waves. Ride on top of all and any low vibrational frequency. Yeah. Powerful and unstoppable. Let's get back to Justin. Because why? Because we're beyond human. Justin, Paul Abraham. Powerful companion. The real deal. And if he triggers you, well, then you got opportunity to deal with stuff. Who else are you getting triggered by? Boston C gets triggered sometimes too. I'm just, okay, what do I do with this? Stop justifying our triggers. Well, she did that to me, and yeah. All right. We won't stay there. It's all good because we're mature ones, right? Living above the sun. Setting the example. Oracleizing the truth in love. Right? All right. Okay, we're going to get crazy. Look at this. Miraculous transport. I mean, you can relocate and yeah. I mean, aren't you doing more than one thing at a time? I mean, there's a lot of things going on. Your world's going to be rocked. All our world's going to be rocked in the next few years. Yeah, in a good way. Yeah. All right, miraculous transport. Transportations, I believe, are going to be dramatically increasing. So John Paul Jackson talking about relocating, all that wild stuff. That old religious wineskins just, stuck. Gotta love them, even though they're stuck. In 2014, I began to glimpse a mystery. The suns are designed to be able to do things by the spirit that natural technology does on Earth. That technology actually reveals unseen principles. It is a manifestation of the goodness of the Lord, self-existent one that was here before you and I, uncreated, big love. In the natural world, we have seen an astonishing change in the technology of world travel. My dad told me flying was considered a luxury when he was a kid. It was rare for ordinary people to go abroad. Look back another generation and cars were a luxury item, even further, and people traveled in a horse and cart. One of the developing Kainos new technologies, is also connected to transport. It is the supernatural ability to teleport from one place to another. I have been shown that some radical people will live in the spirit and they will also move in the spirit. All right, that sounds real good. Get an extra pair of diapers, though, just in case. Whoa. Scripture. For in him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28. Perhaps Daniel saw this coming. He future gazed and said, many will travel everywhere. Daniel 12:4. In fact, I believe as the nations tighten their national borders and we enter into a highly monitored electronic world, it will become essential. The Kainos creation transcends geographic temporal boundaries. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. Everything. All right? Everything. He owns all the real estate. Again, we gaze lovingly at the blueprint to remember who we are and what we do. With the flesh body that could eat and be touched, Jesus, Jesus, Yehoshua, Yeshua, Jesus, instantly transported into the room. Scripture. Jesus himself stood in the midst of them and said to them, peace to you. But they were terrified and frightened and supposed they had seen a spirit. And he said to them, why are you troubled? And why do doubts arise in your heart? Behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see, for a spirit does not have flesh and bones, as you see I have. Luke 24:36-39. This is such an epic story. I wish I was there. I love it. Well, we can go there, right? It's a gate. So we can go in and meditate and around this, go in, and the Lord may bring you into the deal and all that. But yeah, it's all good, right? We get to go in. Imagine what it was like and what it is like, right? Because it's still alive. The word's alive. Everything's alive. Conversation for another day. This wasn't Jesus' only teleportation. On another occasion, Jesus instantly shifted the disciples in the fishing boat across the lake. It happened after he walked on water. Scripture, what he said to them, it is I, do not be afraid. Then they willingly received him into the boat, and immediately the boat was at the land where they were going. All right, I like that. That's good. Yeah, forget American Airlines. They can, yeah. I like how the New Living Translation says it. Scripture. Immediately they arrived at their destination. John 6:21. Right? Twinkling of an eye. Imagine that happening to you. Sure, you can do that. Get in your car to drive and instantly you're there. The GPS says you have reached your destination. Ha, I want that. I want that. We all want that, bro. You got to get on a list. Is there a subscription? I mean, you're going to buy one, get one. It would be great to be there instantly. After Jesus left the earth, the early church continued to move in this miracle of teleportation. Philip instantly traversed 40 miles in the blink of an eye. Scripture. And both Philip and the eunuch went down into the water and he baptized them. Now, when they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord caught Philip away, so that the eunuch saw him no more, and he went on his way rejoicing. But Philip was found at Azotus, and passing through, he preached in all the cities till he came to Caesarea. Acts 8:38-40. This ability was normal for some, even in the Old Testament. Elijah was frequently moved around Israel by the Spirit, so much so he was asked to stay still for a moment. See 1 Kings 18:12. Elijah had to promise not to vanish. Isn't that something? Hey, don't worry about it. I promise. Big Love had different plans. That's all good. This is where we are all going. Kainos, life, new life, is to move in the spirit and power of Elijah. Just imagine, believe. Don't worry about the outcomes. Stop trying to make things happen. One of my heroes is the late John Paul Jackson. He honored me, and I will never forget that. John Paul had many unusual experiences. In the following story, John Paul shares how a man was transported into his hotel room from Mexico to Switzerland. All right, here's the story. Here we go. Sit down. You okay? Everybody good? Well, if you're still here, you're good. And if you're not, then you're not supposed to be. That's okay. Boston Sea still love you. I was in Geneva, Switzerland. This is John Paul. I was in Geneva, Switzerland. I've been traveling for 21 days and I was not feeling very good. In fact, I was really sick. It wasn't fun. I left Los Angeles airport thinking I would get better. 21 days later, I was getting worse. It was 2:30 in the morning. I'm awake, hurting really bad, doing my best not to double over in pain. I look at the clock and it says 2:30. And I look to my right and there's this man standing there. I'm sicker than I thought. I think I'm hallucinating. There's nobody here. It's probably a hallucination. I said, Lord, if this is you, then I want you to have him touch me and pray for me. I want him to put his hand on my hand. I don't want the spirit stuff where it goes right through me. I want to feel the weight of his hand and I want to be healed. He's probably late 70s, early 80s, really weathered. He looked like he was Spanish Mexican. He said, I've come to pray for you that you might get well. He puts his hands on me, prays for me. It felt like a scroll went into me. It felt thick like honey. And as it rolled up, there was no pain. It rolled up my head and down my feet. And I was instantly healed. I looked at him and he smiled at me and disappeared right in front of my eyes. I was healed. I was really happy and got up praising the Lord. I thank God for sending one of his angels. He said it was a servant of mine from Mexico who lived in a small village. And was asking me if there was any way I would use him. So I took him and brought him back. Telling this story, John Paul laughed and said, how would you like to be that guy? I know that is going to happen. I want that. I think we are ready for adventure. It's in our DNA. It's all going to happen. We got to get used to it. It takes time, right? Got to look forward to it. It's all right. Not going to let anything bad happen to us. Let's go. My good friend Matthew Nagy, Glory Company, would frequently be transported up one flight of stairs in the morning on his way up to his office. It always took Matt by surprise. He was simply enjoying the sweetness of Jesus, then suddenly up he went. Sounds good to me. I like shortcuts. My friend John and Ruth Filler came to hear me speak in Oregon. Took me 3 hours for them to get to the meeting. The way back took only half the time despite driving at normal speeds. Isn't that amazing? I call this strange phenomenon rich time. See Ephesians 5:16. That makes sense because we live outside of time. We can bend time, right? When you say, hey, just don't have enough time, you're right. Stop speaking it. You live outside of time. You live in eternity. So what you're doing is you're practicing, training for reigning, governmental authority, universes, whatever you want. Get in the cosmos, planets, it's all good. It's all the real deal. Many people email and message us with nearly the exact same stories. This Kainos enablement to shape time and reality is increasing. Strangely, some have even left their home late and still arrived early at the meetings. It's crazy, it's weird. It's so much fun. I was once on a few days vacation with Ian Clayton and some friends in beautiful New Zealand. We had just visited the famous volcanic pools. Ian was driving us on winding country roads. We were at the top of a mountain looking down into the valley. Within a moment, we were at the bottom track. We laughed about it. I would have enjoyed it more had I not been scared of Ian's driving. It was nuts. True story. That's funny. Oh yeah, because he's the car guy. Yeah, just get out of his way. The GTO guy. Yeah. History shows us God, big love, is willing to give us his friends a helping hand on the journey. He rewards friendship. Ding, 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 ding. Stop reading about him. Get in the relationship with him. Then go back and read about him, and you'll get more out of the relationship. The words will jump off the page and pop you in the noggin. He rewards friendship. One of the early church accounts is that of Saint Amon. The saint was traveling with his disciple Theodore. Theodore, what's up, bro? When they reached the stream they had planned to cross, they saw the water had risen and overflowed the banks. They realized they had to swim across instead of walk. The two separated to undress, but Saint Amon, being too shy to swim across naked, was trying to make up his mind what to do when suddenly he was transported to the other side. Theodore coming up and seeing that he had crossed without getting wet, pressed the saint for an explanation, and it was so insistent, Saint finally confessed the miracle. I love it. I think TV Wildman Beer Grylls would like to have that miracle. Grylls, is that his name? Yeah. It seems desire is a powerful force in framing up spiritual possibilities. Expectation produces faith. Faith produces evidence of the unseen. Faith shapes reality. Your thoughts, you create your own reality. Got to start thinking quantum, atomic, subatomic, nano, quantum realms. It's all real. Create our own reality. What we imagine, desire, with big love. You can go the other way, hang out with the jabron, big lies. The adversary, the one that's trying to take you down. He's toast. Deliriously demised, decapitated, impotent. He's toast. Not even a thing. In this next story, St. Dominic wanted to spend the whole night in prayer at the church, but it was sadly locked for the evening. St. Dominic was traveling one evening in the company of a Cistercian monk. Cistercian monk. Wow. Cistercian monk. When they approached a neighboring church. According to the saint's custom, he wanted to spend the night in prayer before the altar, but was disappointed on finding the church tightly locked for the night. Both decided to spend the night in prayer on the church steps, when suddenly, imagine that, without being able to say how, they found themselves before the high altar inside the church and remained there until the break of day. That's the power of desire. Desire is an amazing technology. It pulls favor from the Father. Notice they also had the ability not to need sleep, a common fruit of mystic union. There is life in union. Also with fasting, breaking the addiction and the need for food. Story for another day, a true story. I recently had the pleasure of hearing Paul Keith Davis sharing stories about the prophet Bob Jones, a personal hero of mine. I wish I had known him on earth. Paul Keith told us how they were at Moravian Falls in the USA. They were there praying for the land to be sold to the church. Early one morning, an angel shook Bob awake. He told him to get dressed and come with him. The angel transported Bob up to the top of the hill to confront a demonic being blocking the sale. Bob dealt with it. It's a wild story. Paul Keith was astonished to wake up early and see Bob slowly walking back down the hill on his own. Bob was waiting for a knee operation at the time, and Paul Keith was surprised to see him walking down the hill. Bob told him what happened. After hearing the whole angel story, Paul Keith pressed Bob to wake him up if an angel ever did that again. Paul Keith laughed telling us the story, but I think he was gutted he missed out on the fun. Harry Lammy was another elderly man like Bob who was transported to save his poor knees. He was a Catholic parish priest who worked many wonders. He walked closely with the angels and was often helped by them. I have been upheld by the holy angels many a time. When I have been exhausted with weariness and have been brought from one place to another without knowing anything about it, I used to say, "My God, how tired I am." I was in my parish far away, often at night, and I found myself at the place St. Lucian all at once. How it happened, I don't know. I love that. Heaven cares. True story. Ian Clayton is a forerunner in this spiritual technology. Ian has teleportation experiences on a regular basis, appearing in a prison cell to heal a Christian, transporting to China to teach about the kingdom realm, saving a family in the Middle East from a bomb attack. Strangely, a few times he's been injured and has the scars to show it. Now that's some SEAL action right there. In the same way we have learned how to stir up the gift within us, like prophecy and speaking in tongues, we are also going to know how to stir up teleporting, bilocation, shifting dimensions, and the working of wonders. It is the natural progression of growing up to maturity as a spirit being. Like natural technology, what once seemed magical in the past will over time become common and normal. Technology is surging. Get ready for the corresponding spiritual surge. Believe for miraculous transports. True, 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 true. Your spiritual, intellectual technology. Did you make you? How'd you get here? Oh, your parents. Okay. How'd they get here? Mm-hmm. Did you ever look at the complexity of the human mind and body? Yeah. Spirit, soul, and body. You're a spirit, has a soul that needs to clean up its junk, but you don't have to fret about it. Big love takes care of it. You just partner, right? Your spirit, your higher you, that's already in union with big love. You work together to get your soul in line so you can have a good life expressed in the earth. Because we need you. We're not leaving anyone behind. We're not leaving you behind. We'll patiently wait. You have a seat at the high table above the sun. We all do. Just love big love. Practice loving big. Here's your religion. All right? Boston Seed, love you. We'll keep this going. Love this book and this book. Get the book. Get the book. Get some of the Segula Studios in you too. All right? Stay in the way, stay in the path. Until next time, Boston Seed. Hey, hey, hey. Up and away.